renovating your kitchen, then you're going to want to watch this video. In this video, I'm going to take you through a step-by-step on how to renovate your kitchen, telling you everything you need to know for a successful kitchen renovation. So this on the screen right here is a program or a timeline for your renovation, and it has every step that is required for a kitchen renovation. So before we get into that, the first step really is your kitchen layout, nailing your layout. So there's a few options here. You can go to a designer, an architect. There's services like Freedom Kitchens that offer a design service. Be wary though, because they will give you a hard sell and won't give you the design if you don't use their product. I think IKEA and Caboodle and the like have kitchen layout tools online. And I believe I've even seen some budding stores offering a design service. So figuring out your layout is the first point of call. The next thing is choosing all of your fittings, fixtures, finishes, and appliances, all those things. So your oven, dishwasher, sink, mixer, range hood, fridge, all of those items. So now into the actual renovation. The first thing, obviously, is demolition. So before you do the demolition and you get in there with a sledgehammer, you need to get the plumber to remove any taps, remove any cooktops, stuff like that, and make it safe. So cap off the water, cap off any gas, make sure it's safe. Same for the electrician, remove any power points, light switches, oven, all that, and make sure it's safe. That is a must. You need to make sure you get a licensed plumber and electrician to do those for you. Then you can get stuck into the demolition. So a couple of days there maybe if you're doing it yourself. Next comes the set out. So 1 day for the set out here. And so on this timeline, you can see it's just a little graph or a Gantt chart that shows you how many days someone's going to be there and when. And this just gives you a really easy scheduling or programming tool. And this is what I actually used to use when managing large projects. This was a small, like, weekly program that I'd use alongside a larger full program. So set out is where the tradies will mark out where everything needs to go. So mark out your cabinet positions, where the dishwasher is going to go, where the oven is, where the cooktop, the sink, the island bench, all those sorts of things. It's really important. It's going to tell like the electrician where to put all their power, where all the power points need to go, where all the light switches need to go, where the cables for the oven and the cooktop need to go. And same with the plumber, going to tell him where to put his waste pipes and water pipes for the sink, dishwasher, and mixer, and all of that. So best left to your tradies because it is an important one. Once that's done, you're going to want to do any wall framing that you need to do. Depending on your circumstances, you may or may not need to build new walls. If you do, that now is the time. The next is plumbing roughing and electrical roughing. So roughing is where the plumber will run any water points for your sink, dishwasher, stuff like that, and any waste pipes. And the electrician will rough in cables. So he'll run all his cables for your oven, your induction cooktop, light switches, power points, all those sorts of things. So the note there as well, if you are putting in an induction cooktop and you haven't had one, it needs to have its own a new cable run on its own circuit. So just speak to your electrician about that because there may be an added cost for that, especially if you're an older house like a double brick house that has concrete floors and stuff. They may have to chase into the brickwork and stuff like that, which can be expensive. So just speak to your electrician about that. Once the roughing's done, you're up to resheet any walls, so plaster any bare walls. You'll get your plasterer to do that. And any walls behind cabinets, it's a good idea to get them sealed with one coat of paint at least, just to protect them a little bit. Then you'll have your cabinet installation. So time to install joinery. Now you can either have your cabinet maker install this, but a lot of you, I'm sure, may want to DIY it, which is fine. So, flat pack kitchens are pretty popular these days. You can get some good quality ones. I've used them before, and there are plenty of YouTube videos on how to build them. The key is to make sure that everything is straight and level. Next is flooring install. So the reason I put the floor install here, if you're doing the floor, is because once your cabinets are in, if you're getting stone bench tops, they're going to come and measure your stone bench tops, and it's going to be a week or two before those can go in, which means you can't fit off and finish the kitchen for a week or two. So now's a good time to do the floor. If you're using laminate bench tops, you can get those put on straight away, and you can just sort of skip ahead if that's you. Now, some people will say that you need to do the floor before the cabinets. And the answer really is it depends. It depends on the type of flooring you're using. So if you're using a floating floor, like a laminate or a hybrid or a vinyl or something like that, or even engineered timber boards but are floating, so they're not being glued to the floor, then you do not want to put them under the cabinets, because they're designed to allow for expansion and contraction, so they need to have room to move. If you put a big heavy kitchen on top of it, you will have problems. If you are gluing hardwood flooring down or engineered boards down, then you can glue them down and then put the kitchen over the top. I've generally always put the kitchen in first, even when using hardwood floors. So once the flooring is installed, you can then get the cabinet maker to install the kickers, so the kickboards. They can go on top of the floor. Then you'll have your bench top install. If it's stone, that should be ready. You can get that installed now by the stonemasons. And then splashback. So if you're using the same stone for the splashback as you did for the bench top, obviously the stonemason will install both at the same time. If you're getting it tiled, then now's the time. As soon as the bench top's in, you can get the tiling done. And make sure you get the splashback installed before you fit any sinks, mixers, stuff like that. Mainly the kitchen mixer. If you put the kitchen mixer in and then you're trying to get a piece of stone in behind it, or big tiles, they might struggle and you may end up with a damaged mixer. Not ideal. So next we have plumbing fit off. Plumbing fit off and electrical fit off. So this is where the plumber will come and fit the sink, mixer, install a dishwasher, fridge if you've got plumbed water to the fridge, gas cooktop, things like that. The electrician will do any light switches, lights, oven, induction cooktop, and your range hood. Make sure you speak to them about the range hood and make sure they include it in their price, because some may not. And then, lastly, we have caulking. So, cork splashback to the bench, kickers to the floor, etc., stuff like that. So, a big one here is a lot of people don't cork kickers to the floor and even skirting boards to floors. And personally, for me, and it may just be me because I come from a high-end building background, it's one of the first things I notice if I see a freshly renovated house, and I'll notice that hasn't been done, which tells me that it's probably not the best quality renovation. It's a little, just because if they haven't gone into, it's the final 1%, I guess. If they haven't gone to the effort to do the final 1%, what else haven't they done when doing the rest of the renovation? So it's a little tip for you. So that's the step-by-step of a kitchen renovation. You can read it in the blog. There'll be a link below this video. This tool here, it's pretty simple. You could make it yourself. If you don't want to make it yourself, I have templates available. It's called Renovation Timeline Pro. It gives you a bathroom template and a laundry template and some videos on how to use it. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link there as well. And that is all. Hopefully you like this, and good luck with your kitchen renovation.